Today we have with us Soledad Santos, longtime employee of the District Court. Mm-hmm. And she's brought here by our good friend Galo Perez, longtime employee of the District Court, former Chief Deputy. And we have Lolita Tovis, who also joins the longtime club. But like I was thinking, we could keep it really simple.
Okay.
Like, tell us about how you joined the court. When did you start working at the court? How did you get the job?
Well, I work for Public Works Center as a timekeeper.
Yeah.
Then from there, I met my friend. One of our friends joined the army, and those days are the World War. So we met at the grocery. Then she said, "Come here, I want to talk to you." And she really, and I said, "What is it?" "You go to court. Be sure to go to court, District Court. We're not going to let those people who are in already." "What? I am just a timekeeper. I told you already. Take this paper and go to the court Monday." And that day, it's on trial. It's a trial to court, but there are people listening. I came in, I found the deputy clerk, Mr. Chrysostom.
Mm.
And all those days, no young people work for the court. But I really appreciate, and we do our work. After that, I was hired. Then the chief deputy, Mr. Gillette, take their vacation. Last week of that month, when I came in, they were back. Started showing me, Mr. Chrysostom showed me a tick to be docketing.
Yeah.
Then coming in, filing papers, and I hold my breath. Wait a minute, am I going to do this now, or you want me to do the docketing? No, do it as you, because we have plenty to do. Even we work Sundays.
Oh yeah.
But no overtime, only comp time.
Oh. So this was 1953. So Judge Shriver was the
Yes,
judge,
that's right.
and then his clerk of court was Roland
Gillette.
Gillette. And who else was at the court then? Do you remember?
John Barnes.
John Barnes.
He is the secretary court reporter. He just got out of the court reporting job. And he's young yet. I was looking at him and he started, "What he wants again?" "Go in and see him, because he wants you." He's coming up with, "John, slowly. What do you want me to do? You take this and pass it to the attorneys." When I look at the case, Mr. Chrysostom tell me already, be very careful when you're issuing papers. So I started working out. Here he comes again. "Aren't you finished? Go and do it, because I'm not finished. I have another thing to do."
Oh, who said this to you? Mr. Crisostomo or Mr. Barnes?
Mr. Chrysostom is too patient, and I said, they're, older. The bailiff is Mr. Siguenza.
Yeah.
He's a loud mouth. When he talks, and they really laugh and everything. Then as time goes on, I am really familiarizing with what I'm doing and what's supposed to do. In the morning we come up, we can start 8 o'clock, but before 8, I was there.
Yeah.
So Mr. Chrysostom was there to open the court, not the bailiff, until later that he was told, "That's your job."
So Mr. Siguenza was the bailiff.
Yes, Jesus Siguenza.
And Mr. Crisostomo was
retired
the...
Navy man.
Oh, okay.
He was already retired back in 1950.
Oh. And was there a marshal? Do you
Yes,
remember?
Antonio Vasa.
Yeah. We met Mr. Bazas son
Yes.
has talked to us.
So he's the viewers at that time.
Yeah, and he's from Guam.
Yes,
Yeah, they're all-
he's,
yeah.
From Sinabne.
Yeah. What was Judge Schreiber like? What was he like?
You know, he's so simple, but
Yeah.
he's so economic. Every time there's a, pay increase or promotion, that is not necessary. When the district clerk turned it in, because he's leaving, he's going to attend conference in Washington, D.C. So the clerk asked him, he turned back, this is not made out. So they kept, all of a sudden there's documents from the U.S. Court, Ninth Circuit,
Yeah.
that they can be allowed to promote if there's any. And the clerk said, there are many vacancies, but I cannot hire because the judge turned it down. I
Oh.
have to do what we're doing now.
So he didn't spend a lot of money, a lot of government money.
No, but he is very good when the reports come, because monthly, quarterly,
Yeah.
and yearly the reports. So he is really very happy when the report comes in and he receives and we saw the thing there when the memorandum come out that they approve the reports and they're doing. We just keep on working.
Was he was he patient, or did he was he kind? What kind of man was he?
Yes, he's quiet,
Quiet.
but I heard that he drinks.
Oh. Yeah, I imagine there's some stories about him then. Yeah. So, Mr. Gillette and Mr. Barnes were from Colorado too.
Right.
Judge Schreiber was from Colorado.
Mhm.
Ah. And then, eventually Judge Schreiber was replaced by Judge Gil Martin.
Right, from Trust Territory,
Oh, he was from the Trust Territory.
Judge Gil Martin.
Yeah. And you worked for him, didn't you?
And Mr. Homme, the U.S. Attorney,
Yeah?
he is the candidate for judge at that time.
Oh.
Everyone is saying he will be good.
Yeah.
Then comes in the announcement that Judge Gil Martin will be the judge.
Who is this other man? The U.S. Attorney?
Homme,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Gordon Homme.
Okay. And he was. So you knew him because he prosecuted cases.
I met him.
Yeah.
There's another one, but I don't met Mr. Mackey,
Yeah.
the first DA.
Right. Mackey. I have his name here on the list. I forget what the first name is. Wow. So this is the early days of the court.
I heard Homie, but not Mackey.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Judge Gil Martin.
Judge Gil Martin, he is really patient, and we can understand him, because what he is trying to work it out in a way in which they could be know one another and work out things.
Ah.
But then he had a heart attack.
Oh, he did. Oh, he died
He died.
as the judge,
Yeah.
right? Did he die
Those
here?
days overloaded with work,
Oh,
Sunday to Sunday. We are there, no overtime, but we have to work.
wow. He died here on Guam? Oh, okay. He was from the Trust Territory. I heard he was good friends with the Admiral at the time.
That's right.
Yeah? Were they buddies?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Even Judge Schreiber
Yeah?
knows Lawrison.
Yeah?
He's a colonel, I think, in the Marines, and he worked at the Island Command.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Now you still remember
Wow.
people's names.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, who were the original employees of the court then in 1950? Yeah, Judge Shriver. Then you got John Barnes as the court reporter. Jesus Crisostomo as the
Susiguenza and the bailiff. Susiguenza.
Susiguenza as the bailiff. Sus Crisostomo. What was Sus Crisostomo?
Chief deputy.
Chief deputy clerk.
And there's one Camacho, assistant marshal. He's big man.
One
One
Camacho.
Camacho from Barry County.
You got Antonio Bassa as the marshal.
One Camacho.
Juan Camacho is the assistant marshal. Who was the prosecutor during that period?
For the U.S.
The U.S. attorney. To say Halmy or Mackey?
There was a James Mackey.
The first one, I have not met Mackey.
Yeah. There was a John Raker.
Yes, he's a clerk, then from the clerk to judge.
Oh.
Raker was promoted,
Oh, he was promoted to a judge.
yeah,
Oh.
with the Superior Court.
Oh, okay. And then came H. Gordon Hamy.
But
Homie?
this,
Hamy?
Yes, after Halmy, Mr. Alder or what?
Yeah.
James
On my
Alger.
list, I have James Alger.
yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that.
And he served until 1969. And you came on board right about
Yes,
then.
December 69,
Yeah.
November
I'm
69.
speaking to Galo. Yeah. Yeah.
But at that time, Soledad, the clerk's office consists of who? Who's the clerk of court?
Gillette,
Ronald Gillette.
Ron Gillette.
the Chief Deputy Sus Crisostomo.
Okay.
And then who else?
It was Maria Atoibi.
Very
That is take her place because she's going to continue court reporting, and
Oh.
she left the island.
Oh.
There was the person who encouraged her to go down.
Go
and
to the
report to
office to.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it was a lucky thing she did.
Yes.
That's good.
She turns back, be sure to go to the court. I was just looking at her, wait a minute. Don't you tell me that you go to court and take this paper. So I prepared myself and I went in. There's a clerk to court and it's a big civil case.
Uh-huh.
And during that period, Soledad, when Roland Gillette was a clerk, what was Edward Agun
Edward was not there
until
until he replaced Roland Gillette.
how many years after?
You know, there's people from U.S. Navy, civilian, and they are friends. Eddie worked for Consolidated Industry. And that's time when there's applicants that have master's degree, doctors, but Eddie was hired.
So, yeah, 1962. Eddie Uggan came on board. At least I have that. That's what I have in my records.
That's
So, Mr. Gillette was there pretty much from 51 through 62. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Mr. Uggan, Eddie Uggan was working for the Navy, you said?
Yes.
Oh.
For industrial relation office.
Oh, okay. So maybe he had some connections and some friends.
That's it, because they're applicants when we're working on it.
So I guess Rodney Bordalu
Yes, Rodney.
joined after Eddie got it.
Right.
Yeah, because they're related somehow.
He's the
Oh.
brother-in-law of Eddie.
Yeah. Very good.
And when did Jose Borja join?
Oh, when Siguenza had a stroke, and he's a retired Navy man, Joe Borja too. So that's the time when he worked for as a bailiff.
Okay. So Mr. Seguenza was the bailiff, and then he had a stroke, and then Mr. Jose Borja. I remember Jose.
Yeah.
Mr. Borja. Oh, they were both in the Navy, both retired.
Yes.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, buddy. That's interesting.
Yeah. So after Judge Gilmartin, did Judge Shriver came back after Judge Gilmartin?
Right.
So he had 2 terms.
The judges alternating from San Francisco, Washington, and Colorado, because it's a big load of cases.
Visiting
Backlog.
judges came out, huh?
Yes, different judges. There's a judge. The last I know is from Judge Stevens, Judge I think it's Smith, Judge Smith. They're different interchanges when they're coming in, according to the load of cases,
Yeah.
because there are cases back in there, but they can help.
So so you remember some of the names. I wonder what happened to some of those judges, if any of them were famous or...
It appears that they're probably intermittent.
Yeah.
I guess in the absence of a full appointed judge.
Well, I remember Mr. Areola, Mr. Joaquin Areola told us that when Judge, I think he said when Judge Gilmartin died, there was a big caseload. Now, he was speaking as an attorney, so he has his own opinion about things. But you say at that time you were working 7 days a week. Yeah. Wow.
Because the land division was with the court.
Yeah. Do you remember the first jury trial?
I think that is from, it's a criminal case,
Yeah.
and there are servicemen involved, Filipinos and
Oh,
other people.
yeah.
That's a big case because someone was dead,
Yeah.
and then after waiting for the time for trial, somebody passed away again. So
Oh.
that's the delay.
Yeah.
But it's a big case because in Manila there's a restaurant there, and there's a big brawl that night.
Oh, and someone died.
Mhm.
I see. So when you started working for the court, took a few years before they started having jury.
Right?
Yeah, 56, I think, right? 1956, according to my records. And we have a picture here of the first jurors.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen this. Maybe I'll show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the first jurors. Here.
Who had that?
I found that in the Guam Library. They have a stash of photos.
Interesting.
Yeah. We got their names.
This is Lorena Perez.
Possibly either.
You know some of them? Even Mrs. Moylan, right?
The hair in the picture.
Yeah, in that picture.
Aretissimo Moylan, close to Glorina.
Oh,
Kulan Fason Moylan.
Kurt Moylan's mom.
this is Mary Shibenza. So this is our wife.
Interesting.
Glorina, you said was there? Glorina Perez?
Lorena? No,
Is it?
that is Mrs. Moya.
Oh.
Yeah. We got the photograph from the library, and it said it was the first jury trial. So then we went down to the records, and we got the names of the jurors. And they were sitting in order, so it was sort of easy to find out who was who. There was one American Howley there, and so that helped us decide which order they were in. Yeah. Did you work with jury? Did you have to
Yes, to pull out names.
pull out
And
names?
send out the
Yeah.
notice that they're being summoned for jury duty.
Well, that made your job harder, right? When they started having jury, right?
It is.
Before that, it was easier.
Still, it's loaded because land claim, then criminal case, civil case, bankruptcy.
That's
and
right.
Any papers that is filed, as to if the judge approve it, we have to docket it, put in the books in order.
You were there at the very beginning of all the land claims cases.
Right.
That was big.
People coming in to pick up their checks, sometimes they just take it. We don't need it. This is the amount of my property.
They were angry.
They
Right.
did.
And they were all people you knew.
Right.
Were they angry at you? Did they get mad at you? Not that you had any.
I have no idea,
Yeah.
but I am the one passing out.
And they didn't think it was enough, right?
Right.
Yeah. We talked with Galo a few weeks ago a little bit about the land claims. Lots of emotion. Lots of 6,000 people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a very interesting trial where the 12 jurors were a majority of them Chamorros, whose very land were the subject of the trial.
Oh, is that right? So some of there was a trial associated with land claims, you're saying?
Yes, and you know the land condemnation trial, the subject properties began here in Adelup, all the way up to, I believe, Airport Road, the intersection of Airport Road and Route 1. Those fractional lots that covered Route 1 all the way up. And there's a lot of Chamorros who own properties along that route.
Mm.
And it's pretty hard not to have a relative of a landowner sitting on the jury.
Yes.
And so it's so ironic how the jurors decided the case and agreed upon what the valuation of the properties were, and it was, the verdict was such a created an uproar where it wasn't believed that these set of jurors would come up with that amount of valuation, very, very low.
Oh,
It's like a penny per square meter.
very controversial.
Yes,
I see.
but it was the original landowners themselves who
Yeah.
made that decision, and it was.
There's
I-
a case where Makina Riola is the attorney,
Yeah.
and two older from Zonia, the husband and wife, and then the son is in the Navy. And he thought that everything is the properties and belongs to him. No documents to represent him that he was heir. So Ariola represented two. And when they come into the court, the old man stood up. Who is the judge here? Then Ariola was just sit down. I'm talking now. Then he was taken out because and he's loud.
Yeah.
That's my property. I have no idea whether he took it, he steal it, and he's my son. And he is very loud because the courtroom, then he went out and started talking. The marshal went after him. Then we heard that he was taken to the hospital
Oh.
because he's so upset and turning like. After that, they were, remember, what are you representing in? Ariola said, I represent someone, and I'm doing my best. The two old people were very true that they own the property, the son is, but they never heired yet.
Ah.
And he's married Howley, and he came back. There he went to court presenting his copy of those judgment and Then they went to court, and Ariola was the attorney for the two people,
For the older people.
right?
Yeah. So you remember Attorney Areola is still practicing now. Do you remember any of the other attorneys that might have been in the early days? Who would be with Attorney Areola, even younger, even older?
There's Cowan with Ariola. and
Oh,
I
Cowan's still there.
saw him around,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Mark Cowan.
Yeah, yeah. But some of the older attorneys that represented landowners or
Well, we have Mr. Trapp was Judge Gilmartin's law clerk,
right.
right?
yeah.
You're laughing. You remember that? Yeah.
He did, and then he come to private practice. He
Yeah.
was married
Yeah.
to a
I believe back then we have Finton Phelan who
he's well
yeah,
approved of representing landowners or civil matters that needs to be worked on. He did argue.
Finton Phelan, I remember his name in the records. Was he once also an island court, an island,
court judge.
prosecutor ever?
No.
No,
He's mostly counsel.
Yeah, litigator.
Litigator for civil cases or criminal too?
Mostly civil cases.
Yeah.
I don't remember him ever coming to represent a criminal defendant.
he is very popular with the land claim.
Yeah,
Okay. And he was,
his practice is similar to Ramon Diaz. No criminal, mostly land and probate matters.
I see. So Ramon Diaz, who
Ramon
eventually
Diaz.
became Judge Diaz.
Yes,
Yes.
But Mr. Phelan, did he live on Guam a long time?
Oh yeah.
Did he come
Yeah.
here as a young man after he was a lawyer?
Oh yeah.
then Mr. Crane, Ed Crane,
Is that
he
quick?
used to be partners with Phelan,
Oh, okay.
and then the two wives.
Yeah.
Because the wife works,
Yeah.
and Mrs. Phelan
Helena.
coming in, checking the cases before his husband tried the case. So one day, while I was looking at the papers, he came in. Don't you help me? I just look at her. I am busy, Mrs. Phelan. This is needed. She went out and started talking outside, and then she was asked, "Are you sick?" She turns around, and I don't know whether but she's very angry at the time. Mrs. Penn on the other side, she did come to court, but on the telephone, when he called in to ask for some cases, make sure that, because he will just tell you out. Then I asked one day the clerk, "What's wrong with Mrs. Quinn?" I was listening to her, and all she wanted me to finish what she's asking. And I think 10 pages that she wants.
Yeah. So she's demanding. They were demanding
Right.
ladies.
Yeah.
Were either of those two, so Quinn and Phelan, attorneys, they were partners at one time.
Yes.
Were they married to local girls or no?
No.
American
No.
girls. American. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. And they were both. I remember those wives of the attorneys, and as Soledad was mentioning, they would come ahead of their husband attorneys, and to get information and the court's docket.
Oh, so they work for the office.
Yes.
I wonder if they got along with each other.
No, but they don't get along with the court staff.
Yeah.
Because of their demands, because
Yes.
my husband is coming for a hearing and they want to prepare naturally, but
I understand.
it's exciting.
And so the next they come in, it affects the way that the staff interacts with them because they already know that it's difficult.
yeah, and
Was it Mrs. Shapiro also?
Yes, Mr. Shapiro. a non-lawyer too.
Mr. Shapiro?
David. They're also husband and wife. Right?
It's a
Awesome.
pack team, you know.
Oh, okay.
There are several lawyers who have their wives as their assistant. I've never seen Mrs. Terlahi or Mrs. Ariola come.
No.
practice
Sometimes the
same.
assistants become the wives. It's happened in a few cases.
There's a firm too, Barrett, Scott Barrett and Perez.
Yes.
They're partners. Clark worked for Barrett and Perez.
Yes.
As if he turned out to practice it.
Yeah.
Clark worked for them.
I remember Attorney Crabb. He was a very elderly man in the early 90s in the PDN building. He still had his office.
Who?
I thought. Maybe
Who
I'm
was
wrong. Crabb?
No.
Who was the older attorney in the PDN? Didn't come in that often, but he still maintained a small office there, even in the early 90s.
Brad Clem?
No, not Clem.
No.
Mr. Clem is still practicing. Thought it was Crabb, C-R-A-B-B. Yeah.
No.
So. Did you have to call the United States? Did you have to call Washington on the telephone? Ever?
No, I don't do that.
No. Because back then, there was no fax machine, right? Just telephone and mail.
Right.
Right. So everything took longer.
There's a thing happened with Dutch Cyber. At that time, the checks were coming in not by airmail. And he was collecting his checks. And the bailiff should know where he is keeping it because he showed the bailiff. One day, it's Monday. Everything we were called in to, did you see that cyber check? No, I don't see any check. They open another folder, picking order. And then what he did, he was drunk that day when he received the check. And instead of putting in the drawer, he wrapped it up and threw it in the trash can.
Oh,
The bailiff went to the place where they dumped the trashes, went all over, and they teased him, how did you manage to find the check? They came in and Gillette came out. That's enough.
Mr.
He found his
Seguenza,
check.
Mr. Seguenza found it,
Right.
and he didn't want to tell too much
At the
detail.
dump?
Yes.
Oh, he went to the dump to find it.
That was, and it was a viola. And he said, where did you find it, sir? I don't find any check. Then here comes Mr. Gillette. That's enough. He found his check. He threw it on the trash can.
The judge threw it in the trash can?
Right?
Judge?
It's a monthly basis that they receive their check.
Yeah.
So
Judge Schreiber threw
Judge
it.
Schreiber was the
Oh,
one.
okay.
And there's a big party on that Friday night for all the big shots.
Yeah.
So we thought, well, maybe he joined the party. And after the party, that's where he failed to pick up his check. And how much? I don't know.
Yeah.
It appears to me that back then the court was more family oriented and everybody was helping each other out, a lot friendlier.
Well, we're friendly now. I think it was a smaller group of people, and the island was maybe more homogeneous, more mostly Chamorro, right?
Yeah.
That grew up with each other and knew each other very well. Yeah.
It's like a family oriented setting.
Yeah. So Mr. Seguenza and Mr. Gillette was protecting his boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
typical clerks.
Mr. Gillette, what was he like?
Oh, he's fair enough, but he likes to drink.
Oh yeah? Okay.
There's an attorney to John Webster.
John,
Before when
yeah.
he's in the Navy, I think.
Yeah.
And when he came out, he practiced. There was he found out that he's drunk. Even at when there is a hearing and he needs to appear, they will send him back. Go and rest.
We'll send Mr. Gillette back.
No,
No,
John.
Webster.
Webster, Mr. Webster, okay. Attorney. Yeah. And you say Mr. Barnes, the court reporter in the early days, he was a young man, you said.
Yes, he did. After he took up the court reporting,
Yeah.
because he's in the Navy,
Yeah,
and he took advantage of the GI Bill of Rights.
yeah,
There he took the court reporting.
yeah.
But he just buried up whatever cyber, because cyber will call him, and after taking him, come out and to be married. One day he told me, if he dies, what happened? Are you going to kill him? No. But just remember this. When he dies, I will not attend the funeral. I'll stick a short grass on his
Who said this?
down barn.
John Barnes said
Yeah.
this about
Cyber.
Right.
Judge Shriver. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another thing with cyber. No need for him, if he needs pencil or root tablet, he will open where we are putting in. He will not ask.
Here, just go and get it.
He just took it. But he's so tight with money. And he is really receiving the promotion and everything, the recommendation,
Yeah.
but
No promotions.
no promotion.
So he sent the money back to. He told Washington he didn't need the money.
I don't know, but
Oh.
he's the one who is not accepting.
Who kept the books back then? Did someone do finance for the court and write down all
Yes.
the? Did you do that? No.
Sometimes they showed me how to do it.
Yeah. Who was doing it back then? Do you
The
remember?
clerk.
The clerk, Gillette.
Mm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a big job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very interesting because with my experience, I'm a time caller, and when I went into court, yes, I do take business, and I was shown how to do it, how to go about it, and if I have that I am not sure, I have to talk to. So I do that. One day, I am working on a new case. The judge comes out. Then I stood up. Judge, do you need anything? Where is the clerk? And they're in the court on recess. He came out and, where's the clerk? Judge, you're on recess. Then he turns around and go to his chamber. After that, Mr. Gillette was laughing. Did this scare you? He's asking for you and you're in there with him because they're strapped to court.
Yeah.
Just forget it. He's somewhere.
That's interesting. Some of the interactions between the players.
Now, I once heard from some members of the bar that whenever they need assistance and they would come up to the clerk's office, that they were so surprised that you were able to tell them a case number right away. Was it because you're very familiar with the cases, or what? Many times attorneys will send their runners to court to try to get a case number for a particular case, but some of them were amazed that you would remember what the case number of all of the cases that are
You had a good memory.
docketed.
You have a reputation for having good memory.
That's what I've heard from the members of the bar, how you were able to assist the bar with those kind of requests. Speaks very highly of your competence and I suppose the training that you've gotten.
So you were docketing. Did anyone else docket too? Or just you?
So was the clerk.
Clerk, yeah.
Yes, because
Everybody.
when they're overloaded,
Yeah.
and they do right away, do this. So I set aside and do the work what they wanted to do. Then he told me, get to work. That way, it's not necessary for now. But Mr. Delet is waiting. He's in and out. Put that away. So I hear him, and he's. But there are times when they are so upset and they come in. Who filed? What is the case?
So you were using a manual
Typewriter.
typewriter. Yeah.
I remember when the the effort restarted in 1981, when the consolidated land claims was filed
Yeah.
by Mr. John Barnes. I remember that during that time, Mr. Barnes, Mr. John Barnes,
Bond, I think.
John Bond,
Yeah, yeah.
had a whole staff of data collectors, and they were sent to court to try to gather those data and create their own data for their presentation. And I remember one lady, Josephine McDonald, and who was that other lady?
Ma? Joanne?
Filipino that works with Josephine, and they were sitting on the back office of the court, and they would be asking each other, what case number is this lot number, and she would just, it's
Oh, wow.
18-52, or, you know.
Right. Instant recall.
Yes, it's
Impressive. I don't have that.
Oh, so I remember this very distinctly because at that time this was happening when we were at the PDN already, and we had this small office in the back where John Bond's staff would always come in the morning to collect this data, and they were working out of the old land condemnation, trying to put together the lot numbers, and every now and then they would ask Daw, what was the original land claims? Okay, what lot number is this? Where's the area?
So she was their
Asset.
database.
Yes,
So, yeah,
it's all up there.
good. Good.
It's amazing.
We're still paying land claims checks.
No?
Even yesterday, an order was issued. Yeah. Very rare. I mean, every few months, every once or twice a year. Right.
I'm interested to know what Soledad remembers were some of the interesting cases in the 50s or 60s. that made a difference in Guam, I guess.
Yeah, well, you told us about a murder case
Yes.
in Manila, and you told us a little bit about the land claims and
Mm-hmm.
some of the emotions that were involved there. You told us a little bit about the jury trial, the first jury trial.
You touched a little bit about their communication with the U.S. courts in Washington.
Yeah.
I guess
There's an attorney too who was really coming up to be well known, Mr. Bowman, Lad Bowman,
He's still here? Yeah.
and
what about the?
He does immigration.
Yeah.
yes.
Mr. Bowman is an expert in immigration. Yeah.
So the court, I work for the immigration too,
Oh,
and it's very interesting
yeah,
because some Filipinos are not well versed with English,
yeah.
Yeah.
and when they come in, either they look at you when you ask him, how much money do you have, because you have to pay this. I don't have any money, so I just keep my mouth. After I finish up the papers, I'm ready to give him a copy. Do you have the money? How much? $5? $5? Not free? They go, no, not free. It's $5. Then one day, my girlfriend came to pick me up. We have lunch. 2 Filipinos are following us, one riding on the motorcycle. Wait a minute, there's your boyfriend. Who? The one who's riding on the motorcycle. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't have any boyfriend riding on the bicycle, on the motorcycle. He kept on following us. When we run into the restaurant or to eat,
Yeah.
other friends are waiting for us. When we came in, here again, he's following you. I have no idea who he is. I sit down and I start ordering. The waitress comes over. This is for you. Then I look back. Where's he from? The 2 men that are sitting, the other one, he's looking at you.
He bought you something?
He bought, and the
Bought you
waitress was
lunch?
trying to find out who. I don't know. I don't order it yet. But he ordered for you. No, thank you.
You were hard to get. Yeah. This man probably met you at the court. He saw you at the court.
Yeah.
Oh. And you had a good job. Yeah.
I'm trying
Those are the
to.
days when naturalization too is really busy. Like permanent residents,
Yeah.
they have that petition. Then the petition for naturalization.
Yes.
Then they come in again and they pay $10. Then time when they are scheduled for naturalization ceremony, and they were issued the certificate of naturalization.
Well, you had tens of thousands of Filipinos that were here in the early 50s at Camp Rojas.
Right?
And I would imagine many of those became naturalized. And so, what you're saying, the court was very busy doing naturalization
Right.
ceremonies. That
Because they
time.
come in filing their petition and
Yeah.
they have to pay.
Yeah.
Then after the filing of petition, they were being approved that they are eligible for. So those are the papers that we are working on.
And you worked at them at the court. See, now the Citizenship and Immigration Services takes care of that. But back then, you did it, right?
Right.
Oh. And how many people were naturalized during one ceremony? Did you have the ceremony in the court? Or was
Yes.
it somewhere like a theater or somewhere else?
We did in Tamuning, but that was the 4th of July.
You had a 4th of July ceremony with lots of people, I imagine.
Then one time, these servicemen take advantage of they're here,
Hmm.
and they goes out some places that is hard for them to, so they did take advantage of that. One day, 60, 40 in the morning, in 10 o'clock, then in the afternoon, 2 o'clock, 20, and all service, Marine, Navy, Army, Coast Guard.
Oh, so these are like foreign nationals that served in the military,
Right.
and they got the military, through the military they got their citizenship. Ah, yeah, that's another source.
Did you remember the naturalization ceremony that took place at the Major League, the baseball stadium here?
In here,
Yeah, at the Paseo. Or did you retire already? We had a ceremony here at the Paseo baseball stadium, and we had over 700 new citizens. Maybe you were already retired by then.
must be.
Yeah.
They do take advantage of that.
Mm.
A couple of times we utilized the theater up at the Naval Hospital.
Oh, yeah, I heard that there were some theaters that they
Yeah.
used. Yeah.
That's when a majority of the petitioners are military. And of course,
Which is what you
Yeah.
you were talking about, right?
but yes, that's right. Back then it was more often. Naturalization was more often. And the processes was mostly done by the court. The petition for naturalization would be hand carried by the petitioner to court, and then we'll entertain it, process it, take in the fee, account for those things, and then eventually withdraw it and then, transfer it to INS. It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
Today, I think those are simplified. None of the administrative work are done by the courts.
Exactly. Yeah. Very
Today-
little.
Everything is done by INS, so now it's changed to
CIS.
CIS,
Yeah.
and they'll just come to court and they'll just email us the list, and we'll work out of that list. We don't prepare any certificates anymore. CIS will prepare those. They come and we're done.
Yeah. We do about 500 or between 500 and 600 a year. No. Twice a month. In fact, was the parking lot full today when you came?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a naturalization.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for coming here, and you're very generous, and you told us lots of interesting stories that we didn't know. Lots of insights into those days.